gamers, another League of Legends game coming your way, this time in the form of a post-game replay type thing. As Fiddlesticks in the jungle. Surprise party Fiddlesticks, no less. And I hate it when that happens, but if you notice, Thrush is the odd man out here in terms of not having a skin on our side. So, where to even begin with this one? So I know I was requested to get an Udyr game this weekend, but the thing is, Udyr fits horribly in this particular team comp. We have both a Riven and a Yasuo in our solo lanes, and then Ezreal AD carry. That would just be way too much AD, and especially against Shin, he can stack armor and just beat you. There's no real two ways about it. Due to the sustain he gets from his W, the attack speed and everything, as long as the Shin isn't really like a complete dumbass and cancels his auto attacks and stuff, he has it won. So yeah, we need an AP. So right here, Yasuo is doing the good guy thing that you hardly ever see. Peeking in on my buff. Since this is a replay, you can see everything on the map anyway. But while we wait, I'll explain how Fiddlesticks works, because the way it starts is pretty much the same. Your passive is Dread. When you stand still or channel abilities for 1.5 seconds, you will get a surge of movement speed once you start moving. So I thought I told you how much. I want to say it's like 25%. So it's not entirely bad. Anyway, your Q is Terrified, targeted ability. You click on an enemy with this, and you cause them to run away in fear. So it does no damage. It's kind of like Rammus's Puncturing Taunt. It used to be a really, really nice UC move. Now it's just above average. Average being around like 1.5 seconds. This caps out at 2.5, I think. So it's somewhat above average. W is Drain. It's another targeted move. Pretty much everything of Fiddles is targeted. Exception being his ult. So basically, you just click this on an enemy, you will channel your Drain, you get True Sight on the enemy, you deal magic damage per second, and you heal for 60% of the damage dealt, so 3/5. Lasts for 5 seconds, and it tells you the maximum damage you can do at rank 1. In my case, it's 443. Your E is Dark Wind. You click on an enemy, you give them the bird. I mean, you throw the crow at them. Or in this case, the balloon crow. So it'll bounce around, deal some damage. It silences anything that it hits, but only the first time it hits them. So if you can get the crow to hit like multiple champions repeatedly, bounce between 2 guys for example, you'll only silence them on the first hit. So it bounces 6 times. It's going to prioritize the guys that you're draining, and it deals bonus damage to minions and monsters. So that's how Fiddlesticks would work, but it's been a long time since I've seen that. Whether or not Sleeper OP is something that we will have to one day find out, but I'm not going to be testing it myself. Then finally, your ult is Crowstorm. So in case you're wondering, I was on the fence about taking the chickens or not, but Riven's going to be feeding for a while. So Crowstorm, you target an area on the ground, you'll blink to that area after a 1.5 second channel, you will summon your birds and maul the hell out of everything in that area. So it lasts for 5 seconds, deals just under 700 damage at rank 1. So you may be saying, hey, it's 670 while you're saying 700. Well, you have to remember, sooner or later I'm going to hit level 6, and I'm going to get some items by then, and at that point it's going to be around 700. So anyway, we saw Shin mid, in case you're wondering. That's how I actually clicked and looked at him. I saw he didn't have blue buff, so I figured, you know what? Let's go counter jungle as Fiddlesticks. Because ironically, I think in most of the Fiddle games I upload, I end up doing something like this. Whether or not I actually steal a buff or just force something from someone. No, I don't want to hit that because I don't want them to know that I'm here. I have a feeling Shin is thinking, hey, Fiddle's not going to invade me or anything, I'm totally safe, and he just wanted to get his red buff, clear the bot side jungle, hit level 3 recall, and then come back. Even though he should be looking to gank early. So right here we know that it's warded. I was kind of wondering that. You couldn't really see it since I didn't move the camera, but Annie moved backwards once I walked over there. And I don't really care about hitting that one because there's no marker on the minimap. If you don't know, when you hit the Scryer plant, there actually will be this little blue wave on the map. Both teams see it. telling you that it's been hit. So right here, Riven's talking in chat saying, hey, that's warded, don't stand there. Yeah. So Fiora just mops the floor with her, I'm afraid. So right here, my Terrify came back up, Riven stunned, Fiora parries, she gets the kill. And right here I have to just beat her down with my Beardam hands, or whatever the scythe blade things fiddle throws are. I'm not sure if it's just a... well, in this case it's a pinwheel, but normally it's some sort of scythe, sickle type thing. So anyway, on Fiddlesticks you want to max your W first, because it's your single best move. It allows you to clear faster, it helps your ganks and everything. Still has that mechanic where it'll refund the cooldown, but not the mana cost itself whenever you use it. Well, when you use it and whenever you're channeling on dies. So you can see I only got a 2-second cooldown instead of the 3 that I should have gotten, because whatever I was draining died. And for the small ones, the medallion will kill it if you auto it once. So in this back I have 1800 gold. Overall, pretty good. I think I'm running Bounty Hunter too, so I have 1 stack from Fiora. So on this back I go ahead and pick up my Aether Wisp, an Amp Tome, and boots. Basically I want to get around and just deal more damage. So basically 50 AP, you can see that... wow. I didn't know it was actually that high. So this is going to be dealing about 800 when I finally learn it. So even though you can't see it here, I'll splice it in the beginning of the video. I'm running Deathfire Touch on Fiddle. So as a result, I do have scaling AP. Not exactly a lot, but it's from a mastery, by the way. I'm going to probably try to splice it in, but in case you're wondering about my runes, I'm running Hybrid Pen Marks and Magic Pen Marks. I don't actually have enough Magic Pen for everything. It's basically the exact same page I ran in the Mal's game for runes. Scaling armor yellow, scaling armor blues, and AP quins. So right there you fear the crab so that it will lose its defenses, and then you're able to just kill it. So in case you're wondering, I didn't really want to use any spells again because I'm hoping to gank bot lane. And no, I'm not bothering with your Planter and Thresh. So, Thresh killed Jinx, I killed Lulu, and that's stack number 2 of Bounty Hunter. Would have been nice if I could have gotten Jinx too, but it's not a big deal. So anyway, I have a blue buff, I'm level 6, I can go ahead and solo dragon here. So I'm calling the start time 8:03. Let's see how long this takes. So, 13 seconds. It's about a third of the way there. It's probably going to take me 40 in that case. Would be nice if someone actually came up here to help me take it, but one of the nice things about Fiddle is that he is able to solo this. Due to the really favorable start I had, I was able to get the Aether Wisp and the Amp Tome, so I have more AP than I probably should for this point. And as a result, even though this is feeling kind of tedious, it's actually somewhat fast. It'll be faster later though, don't worry. So right here, no eyes on Shin. As such, I'm going to have to smite it. In case you're wondering, there is always a chance he could blast cone over the wall, he could flash over the wall, he can E in, he can smite then. I had to play it safe. I'm not giving up an Infernal that easily this early. So yeah, kind of sucks that Crowstorm has such a massive cooldown. It's over 2 minutes. It's a pretty devastating spell, so it makes a little sense. It's just a little disheartening for fiddle aficionados out there. So yeah, Thresh missed the hook. No point flaming him or anything, he tried. It's just more pressure on the bot lane. We're trying to keep the Jinx down. Hopefully it goes without saying... well... this is one of those hindsight things. Had I known Riven was going to do this poorly, I would have just completely given up on top lane, but I'm still trying to think, hey, maybe there's just a tipping point. If she hits that, then she's going to snowball out of control, because Riven Fiora is... like, it's a toss-up in terms of matchup. It can go either which way. Since Riven's stun is pretty much not telegraphed, it's really hard for Fiora to parry it, The really good ones can, though, so keep that in mind. Basically, there's room for this to go either which way. And the other thing worth mentioning is Fiora actually planned to play Riven here, but it was picked away from her. So Fiora is going to rage. She started off a little bit on tilt. She knew how to play the character and actually knows how to abuse its weaknesses for one. But it's going to pour out into all chat all too soon. So right here my ult is up. I was thinking the ward is in this brush, not the tri-brush. And this is going to cost me my ult, unfortunately. So right here, you can't really see it, but Riven's just sitting here. I literally have no idea what's going on. And if we change to Fog of War, I ult in the wrong spot. So I thought I'd be out of vision here. And it's also really bad that when I finally do ult, it's right there as the ward dies. So unfortunately there really isn't anything I can do to Fiora here. She's just run away with the matchup. My hands are pretty much tied. So anyway, let's turn this back on. So you can see the bot lane has fallen. I'm not entirely sure how. Keep in mind, due to Jinx's attack speed steroid on Pow Pow. Yeah, it's Pow Pow. Had to remember which gun was which. She can shred towers if left alone. She really only needs a moment. She's number 2 to Trist in terms of taking those things. But anyway, time to go back. I didn't point it out, but I do have Runic Echoes at this point. I'm beating Shin in both ganks and farming. Huh. Anyway, on this back I went ahead and got Lucid Boots so I can smite and flash more often. It's also 10% CDR, so I can actually Crow Store more often too. So yeah, it's 800 damage right now. And this one's even more. So let's jump over to Riven. So jump over to Riven. Since she was getting crushed top lane, she makes a roam that actually pays off pretty handily. Yeah, I'm not sure why Fiora was pinging that. Maybe she thought she TP'd it instead of actually footed it.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Anyway, bot lane towers are both gone. And unfortunately this is a bit of a lull in the game. You can see that the next dragon's infernal, by the way. So I was hoping to turn this around. Unfortunately, Yasuo wants no piece of this. And since Annie has her stun up, I didn't know she had Tibbers, but we can see here she does. That could have been really bad if I didn't piece out. She's 2 levels on me just due to how little influence Yasuo has. I mean, you have to realize I'm in a really bad spot here. I have a Riven in top lane and a Yasuo in mid, so I'm behind the 8 ball from the very beginning. So right there is the Tibbers drop. It's going on Ez. So we saw Shin here, and I realized he's looking for me. I need to step back until I can drain something. So it's not exactly the most HP, but I'm a little bit better off than I was. And go ahead and pop my potion. And yeah, in case you were wondering, I was wondering, can I ult over the wall and get them? But as for top lane, Yasuo decided to try to take Fiora on. It does not end well for him, I'm afraid. So this part legitimately confuses me. She's feared. Why the hell did he turn around? He killed us both right there. So the dangerous game healing put her back up at full. Pretty much if he did not go in with me, he needed to get the hell out of there. He's just about to commit suicide right here. So down goes the tower. He ignites, but due to dangerous game, she is fine. So yeah, joys of having both a Yasuo and a Riven in-game on your team, in your solo lanes. So at this part, I think I'm contemplating, do I want to do an early surrender? Is this really worth the headache that's going to entail? But anyway, on that back, I have a Fiendish Codex. I'm working my way towards Zonia's Hourglass, but most importantly, I now have some CDR. So this is now down to an exactly 2-minute cooldown. It'll be better once I hit level 11, then I can rank up the move. And holy crap, this thing's crawling with hordes. So as soon as they fight, in comes the Crow Storm, and I should have just tunneled on Jinx. So right there I flash the wall, Fiora flashes after me, I go down. And pretty much the name of the game is just trying to answer Fiora. Riven has made this a massive uphill battle, and to make things worse, out of all the things she can go for, she goes for Youmuu's Ghostblade. This does literally nothing for her. The amount of lethality there is more than offset by the Ninja Tabby. That's not even counting the 10% damage reduction. Like, I could... In her situation, I would recommend going Black Cleaver, because it will give you HP, it'll give you AD, it'll give you CDR. And then basically you just have to play the long con and try to whittle Fiora down and then kill her. Nope, not a Riven though. Fiora does call her out on this. I'm hoping at the very least she learned about this for future games, but there's really no telling. Oh yeah, since I've been too busy over there. We tried to fight her here, and at this point I pretty much have given up on trying to deal with her. You can see that it takes a concerted team effort to actually answer her pressure, and like I said, it's all one player's fault. So there I am, I was trying to reach tower so I could try to fear her or something under it and get some help, but no dice. What's worse is, since Fiora is actually moving her pressure into my jungle, that's actually stopping me from farming. As such, it's getting much harder to reach my Zonia's Hourglass, and that's actually keeping my power down. I was pretty much hoping with the whole 10-ban thing that these two would be permabanned, but of course they get through when I play. In case you're wondering in terms of power tiers, I know for this patch, Fiora's been the #1 top laner for a very long time. Riot's satisfied with her being really overloaded and up there. In case you're wondering, percent HP true damage, sustain, healing in the form of an ult. She can block CC. She has a... Actually, let's look this up. What is her dash? 60% of the cooldown is refunded, so it's going to be like 2 seconds in that case. This time, since she didn't actually contact anything, it wasn't the case. Here you can see we're actually going to kill her here. But she doesn't even have to hit the vitals for the cooldown reduction. If she did, that would be one thing to make her a little bit more tolerable, but as long as she just keeps landing the Q, 2 seconds. Keep in mind she's pretty mobile in the first place, just on account of being melee. Hands down the single best top laner to learn, and it's been that way for a very long time. #2, though, I'd have to say is probably Riven at the moment. So right here, Yasuo makes the suicide play. I was trying to tank tower so that he could get back out, but he's committing suicide, as I said. So right here I want to go ahead and drain the big chicken so I have some health back. I can go ahead and use the crow to kill this a little bit more quickly since I have the blue buff to top me off. And yeah, poor Shin. He gets counter jungle to hell and back here. So right there I smited that, timed it with my auto attack to kill it. There's no way in hell I'm giving this to Riven when she's 3-7. She's just going to give it to Fiora, and then the situation's going to be that much more worse. So right here I'm going to have a little bit of a... Like, I don't even want to call this a skirmish with Jinx. So right there at reset, which was kind of unfortunate. It really sucks. So, for some reason, Shin is afraid to come over here. You can see Jinx still 20 gold. And no, I cannot outrun the spooky ghost. So right there we give him the bird, he gets some burning from the Deathfire touch, I get to body block the rocket, even though it wasn't really in danger of killing anything. So, right there, Shin goes down to Thresh. No stack for me, I'm afraid. Now that I think about it, I haven't really been keeping track of stacks. See who I have and haven't gotten. Let's see, we got Fiora because we got her real early. We got Lulu in a gank. And then I don't know who the third one was. But anyway, right here I'm getting position in the event I need to ult over the wall. So right here, I guess that was just bad luck that they turned around at that time. Anyway, Jinx goes down, I get her stack. Fiora goes down, but since I have her stack, I don't care that I don't get the kill. We have a minimum of 3% right now in terms of damage boosted. And I should also point out right now I'm sitting on 2,000 gold, so I can go ahead and finally get my Zhonya's Hourglass. 20 minutes in, thanks to you-know-who. So I go ahead and get that, I get an Amp Tome, and I was thinking about waiting to upgrade that. Well, I know what I go for here, but right here, I wasn't sure what I was going to go for next. So I wanted to Rylai's. It's going to help a little bit against Fiora, but like I said, she dashes every 2 seconds, so it's not going to be that impactful. I can go for a Leandria's Torment if we want to try to poke them down. I can go for a Banshee's Veil. I can go for Death Cap. Basically just a lot of routes available for me. As for right now, I'm just hovering around the Dragon Pit because I want the dragon. There isn't really much I can do for them. If I went mid, I don't have my ult, I don't have my flash. I'd pretty much have to just like walk in and throw my E or something. So as for Cloud Dragon, in case you're wondering, this is pretty good for Shin since he has to run in there to actually get you in his ganks. When I'm taking this, it's more for denial purposes because one of the things I was afraid of is sooner or later this guy was going to activate, and from there he would just kill us. Riven's doing very, very badly. I mean, Yasuo, he's slightly positive. Right there he did kill Fiora. We can see we're paying heavy prices in order to get those. So right there I think I typed something. I don't remember what it was though. And at this point I've resolved I need Banshees. I need a way to deal with Annie just in case. The other nice thing is the Banshee Veil will give me a spell shield, so it's harder for them to interrupt me when I want to ult in. It's hard for them to CC me once I have ulted in and just have them try to run away or something. So right here, Thresh needs a hand. Due to the exhaust, there was no way for me to kill Jinx. I hate to say it, I couldn't keep up with her in terms of speed, I didn't have the damage to get through her health. Lulu, on the other hand, was in ground zero of my ult. I could take her down, so I wanted to kill, basically. And like I said, we already have her stack, so no change. I was a little upset as was taking my CS, well, my creep there. If you haven't noticed, I'm pretty low in terms of level, and, well, relative to the game. I mean, Riven's doing the worst out of everyone. But I'm level 12, their Jinx is 12, Annie's 13, Fiora was 14. I am beating the Shin, but that's not really saying much because in hindsight, I know the guy's not very good. But right here, I want to cause a little bit of a diversion. I have a feeling if I push this in, Fiora's going to come top. Plus, it's more CS. And I'm not too hesitant about using Drain because I do have the blue buff. If you look on the mini-map down here, you'll see Fiora is on her way. Now at this point I already figured she was in the brush waiting. That's why I backed off. But once my E came off cooldown, I can go ahead and throw that forward. And I have no interest in staying there. But then she came out, she validated my suspicion. And I'm on my way to the next objective. I was wondering if I should cut through their jungle, and I'm kind of glad I didn't go that way, since Shin was there and it's pink warded.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So right there, Annie burnt her summoners. Yasuo goes down.
Godlike.
And unfortunately, since Fiora teleports, recalls here, she's going to beat me when I try to run it back, even though I do have Cloud Dragon. So I can go ahead and claim her. But yeah, didn't really get to stack my bounty hunter too well this game, did I? Major uphill battle due to how things played out with Riven. Definitely not a fan of the character or the player in this case. See, she finally has her cleaver, 26 minutes in. So right there they polymorph me, I eat a pair of rockets, but it's not that bad. Just like everything else for Fiddlesticks, you can just walk into the jungle and heal it all off. Az admits he made a mistake here. He turned around and went in.
Shut down.
He dies without really achieving anything,
Turret has been destroyed.
but does give Riven the opening to finally take her tower. Right at the 27-minute mark. So right here I was a little upset that I didn't have my ult up so that I could try to gank Annie, but it didn't really matter. It'd be hard to do because she does have Tibbers up and out. Like, there's a chance I could kill it too, but it's not that easy. This stage of the game, Crowstorm is dealing 1500, my Drain is dealing 1320. In case you're curious, 2400 gold. So we'll get ourselves a Banshee Veil, and we're that much more dangerous. So I don't remember when it was exactly Fiora started raging in all chat, why'd you take my Riven, stuff like that. Making fun of Riven's build, which I agree is pretty bad. So right here, in order to take her out of the picture, I flash, I fear, and basically just keep her perma-CC'd until she goes down. So right there I pinged my team, yeah, I just used Chilling Smite. Don't burn it down too quickly, pretty much. But they threw in the towel, Fiora left in rage, and yeah. So I'll pull up the endgame screen. I think I have the grasp, I'm not entirely sure. In the event I don't, just be aware I took the most damage. I was in the middle of the pack in terms of damage dealt. But anyway, I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.